Hi, I'm Lisa Rangel with Chameleon Resumes, a premier executive resume writing company, and thank you so much for joining me today. Today we're going to talk about 4 executive job search scenarios reframed for hope. You can't be on LinkedIn for a minute or two nowadays without seeing post after post after post about layoffs, about colleagues being laid off, because even if you're a layoff survivor, it's still really hard. Obviously not as hard as those being laid off, but everyone with an ounce of compassion feels for everyone else. And there's a lot of negativity, there's a lot of drain, there's a lot of doom when you can go through a LinkedIn feed. So I wanted to reframe 4 executive job search scenarios that can help you bring more hope into your daily experience. Looking for a job is really difficult. It is wrought with, rejection, ghosting, not getting what you want, conversations not going the way that you hoped, and it can be mentally really tough. And I want to give you, my LinkedIn profile tagline. I claim to be a master reframer, and it's a gift. I can really look at so many scenarios and see what potential exists in it, what possibilities can happen with it. It's something that I am blessed and happy that I'm able to do. I can't do it all the time, but I'm pretty good at it when I do it. And I want to offer what I see as 4 common scenarios and how they can be reframed. Because here's the thing, if you do not have a tool set to handle the adversity that happens in a job search, it's going to be hard to keep getting back up. You need to have a tool set. You need to have survival mechanisms that you use to handle the adversity, to help you be resilient in your job search. So I want to just give you 4 common scenarios and how they can be reframed so you can have hope. The goal is to have hope in all this. So the first common scenario that I see is that as you're going through a job search process, you find out that you didn't get the job. Obviously disappointing. Nowhere during this session am I implying that you should not honor your feelings. Obviously, feel the feelings. Not getting the job that you want, especially if it's one that you really wanted, is always disappointing. However, a reframe that I use when scenarios don't go my way, or that we use with clients, is to help them see how maybe this wasn't the right path for them, and the universe is telling them that by not getting the job. That's the reframe. The reframe is that it wasn't your place. It wasn't where you're supposed to be, and there's something better waiting for you, and you needed to be free in order to receive that new thing coming down the pipe that you're not aware of yet. So it's hard to sometimes embody this. It's hard to latch on to hopeful uncertainty versus deal with disappointing certainty, right? We always want to deal with, as humans, we want to deal with what's certain, even if it's not great. So do your best to hold on to the hope, that the hopeful uncertainty versus the being staying mired in the disappointment of certainty that you have. So that's reframe number 1, is when you don't get the job that you want, just realize it wasn't where you're supposed to be, and there's something better for you that you needed to be free for. Scenario number 2 that you can reframe is when you got to reach out to somebody that you used to work with and you haven't spoken to them in a while, but your brain is telling you, oh, they don't want to hear from me, or they're going to think I'm a dork if I reach out, or they're going to know I'm looking for a job because I haven't talked to them in so long, right? You got all this negative chatter in your head. And my suggestion, a way to reframe it, is don't ask for a job. Just simply say, we haven't chatted in a while. Let's reconnect. I want to see what you're up to. Be curious. What if they are going through something and you reaching out to them allows them to now ask you for help or convey, frustrations that they have to you? What if you are the resource that helps somebody else simply because you took the time to reach out? It doesn't always have to be about you. And if they do say, if the conversation does get to quickly that you're looking for a job, you can say, I'm grateful that me losing this job, or me now looking for a job, if you're still employed looking for a job, is the catalyst to getting me to reach out to you. Obviously I'm looking for a job, but that's not why I called. I'm using this as an opportunity. I should have made more time last time, and I'm using this as an opportunity to learn that I needed to be doing this all along. How are you? Right? So just own it and move past it. And I'm going to tell you something. You're not the only person to do that. Most people don't reach out to people until they need something. It's just human nature. Very few people reach out proactively to check on people. So know that you're at least in a larger group, and you can own it and be kind about it, and then just not lead with what you need, even though you're inspired to reach out because of something you need. So you don't have, even though you're reaching out because of something you need, you don't have to lead with that. So, again, just own it, reframe it, and be curious, and maybe realize you might be the resource to somebody else by reaching out. So reframe it that way to encourage you to reach out. So this way you don't not reach out. The third situation to reframe is when you have to reach out to somebody new, right? That brings about a whole bunch of apprehension. What if they don't reach out back to me? What if I'm rejected? What if they get on the phone with me and the conversation doesn't go well, right? And I'll be honest with you, all that can happen, right? You can reach out to somebody new and they may not reach back out. They may not reply. They may not be interested. They may be mean. They may get on the phone with you and it doesn't go anywhere. That may all happen, right? But what if it goes well? What if, again, you're the resource to them by presenting yourself and reaching out? What if it does go somewhere? What if it is the opportunity for your next job, right? So, which kind of leads me to number 4, right? It's sort of 3 and 4 are a little bit mixed together for me. But to finish 3 and before I start 4, the bottom line is you will have exactly nothing if you don't reach out. And if the risk of reaching out is you may still end up with nothing, why not try, right? I mean, you've already accepted nothing because you're willing to not reach out. So if you've already accepted that nothing might be okay, which it shouldn't be, but obviously it is if you're not reaching out, you've accepted it, even if you don't like it. Might as well take the chance, right? And just reach out. You're still going to end up possibly with nothing, but you really got nothing but upside. So that's just something to reframe, which leads me to number 4. And this is sort of an overarching, all-encompassing premise that you can reframe. It's really easy to look at how the 50 ways something may not work, right? I mean, we deal with it on our end with clients, with prospective clients all the time. We propose possibilities, we propose options, we propose suggestions, and our brains are wired to go towards exactly the 50 ways that may not work. You're right, it may not work. But here's the reframe. What if it does? Right? What if it does? And what about the past history of that suggestion or that tactic or that action working? Right? Yeah, there's also a history of it not working for some, but there's an established history of it working for some. So again, focus on how it can work and keep at it until it works versus focusing on how it can't work and letting that win. Look, life is hard. I am not sugarcoating that whatsoever. And I hope this doesn't come across as very platitudey or easy, because honestly, it's not that easy, despite it being or sounding easy, right? But, give yourself 5 minutes, give yourself 10 minutes, 15 minutes, give yourself a short time frame and just try something once. Often that's the momentum that can make you do it a second time or for another 5 minutes. But here's the thing, if you only do it once, you only do it for 5 minutes, and you stop and you give yourself permission to stop, you still did something. You still were ahead of the game. So always look for the reframe. That is literally what I subscribe to in my life. Like, just always look for the reframe, because it's the reframe that helps you, that gives you the fire, that gives you the energy to go, you know what, this could work. Let me just try. So that's my my lesson for today. And if you'd like, more materials on how to look for how it's possible, or actually, if you would like to discuss with us your particular scenario on how it's possible, I'm not offering materials in this video today. I'm offering a call. Through, down below there, you can schedule a call with us, explore how we can help you, explore how we believe we can help reframe your situation, and we can explore if we should work together. So no strings attached. And I look forward to you taking advantage of that call. You can access that link down below. If you think this will help somebody who needs some hope today, I'm going to ask you to share it. If you found it to be helpful to you, I'm going to ask you to like it. If you have any comments or questions, feel free to email me at lr@chameleonresumes.com or comment below. I pride myself on trying to read and reply to every email and every comment. And if you like this video and you don't want to miss next week's episode, then make sure you subscribe to the channel. So thank you so much for watching, and have a great day.